Should Quentin Tarantino have consulted Roman Polanski before making his new movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Is it fair for Polanski's wife, Emmanuelle Seigner, to blame Tarantino for not checking in with her husband? And why is Bruce Lee's daughter so mad at Quentin? Hi, I'm Dylan. You're watching OSSA. Let's take a closer look at some tense moments surrounding one of the most highly anticipated movies of this summer. One of the film's plotlines examines a real-life tragedy, the bone-chilling murder of Roman Polanski's wife, Sharon Tate. In case you didn't know, Polanski is a controversial Academy Award-winning director in exile, who made his name directing such movies as Rosemary's Baby, Chinatown, The Pianist, and Oliver Twist. Tragedy struck Polanski and his wife of the time, promising actress Sharon Tate, in 1969, just as the director was breaking into the big time with the success of Rosemary's Baby and his first Oscar win the previous year. Roman was away filming in Europe, with his pregnant wife choosing to stay at their Los Angeles home when the brutal circumstances behind her death occurred. Sharon, her 3 friends, and a young man who just happened to be driving by their house were all brutally murdered by a group of killers from the infamous Manson family cult. Though Quentin Tarantino is mostly known for making fictional films, or films with highly fictionalized narratives, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood breaks with tradition and touches on this very real historical case. While working on the movie, Tarantino chose not to reach out to Roman Polanski, leading to an awkward atmosphere of unpleasantness between the two directors. Roman Polanski's present-day spouse, French actress and fashion model Emmanuelle Seigner, is reportedly extremely upset about the lack of communication from Quentin. And she isn't the only one who feels aggrieved by Tarantino's conduct when making his new movie. Seigner made a post on her Instagram, shading Tarantino for profiting on Polanski's tragedy. It doesn't bother them in Hollywood to make a film about Roman and his tragic story and make money with it, while at the same time they have made him a pariah, and all without consulting him, of course. In reference to Polanski being a Hollywood pariah, Seigner is obviously making reference to another incident which has become the defining aspect of Roman Polanski's career. In 1977, Polanski was arrested for a number of charges, including intoxication and sexual abuse of a 13-year-old girl, which led to the director fleeing the US in favor of France to avoid going to jail. However, the director of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino, doesn't seem very bothered by any jabs from the Polanski camp. He even seems to simply ignore any questions posed by journalists about the topic. At a Cannes press conference, Quentin was asked if he had discussed the project with Polanski. Tarantino offered up an unusually laconic answer.
No, I didn't.
Sometime later, another journalist asked Tarantino if he had ever hesitated in telling audiences the story of real-life events that affected real people, and again,
No. Great.
Tarantino gave a short reply, much to panelist Brad Pitt's amusement. But what led Quentin Tarantino to respond in such a short manner? And why did he seemingly deliberately choose not to discuss his movie script with Sharon Tate's husband? To answer these questions, we need to look at one of Tarantino's major interviews with Deadline. Quentin Tarantino is one of the world's biggest movie directors, and has always considered himself as an artist who can only work with a strong sense of self-determination and creative freedom. The tragedy of Sharon Tate's murder and the story around the Manson family felt like an important historical event in the narrative of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And according to Tarantino, if an artist wants to make a statement about a historical event, then they shouldn't need to ask for permission from anyone. Recall the scenes in *Inglourious Basterds*, Tarantino's war epic that took place during the obviously non-fictional Second World War, where Tarantino had no problem with taking huge liberties with history in the name of fiction. I felt like I was on okay ground there, the director told Deadline. I didn't want to call Polanski and talk to him while I was writing it because I'm not going to ask his permission. I'm going to do it, all right? I don't think he needed any anxiety, and I didn't need any anxiety as far as that was concerned. And to be 100% fair, Polanski hasn't expressed any misgivings about the movie at all. In fact, when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was finished, it was Polanski who reached out to Tarantino through a mutual friend. The friend called Tarantino saying that Polanski wasn't mad about the upcoming movie, he was instead more curious about what it would entail. Due to Polanski's fears of returning to the US, their go-between actually came to Quentin's house to personally read the movie script on Roman's behalf and find out what it's all about. Following the details of the script being reported back to him, Polanski allegedly has no worries about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Another related party offended by Tarantino's new movie was Sharon Tate's sister, Deborah. She disapproved the original release date being on the 50th anniversary of the tragedy, labeling the stunt tacky and exploitative. Following this statement, Tarantino chose to meet with her to offer his explanation regarding what his story was really going to be about. And this movie actually helped a lot to ease tensions between the director and Tate's sister. In an interview with TMZ, Deborah said that following her conversation with Quentin, she began to believe that he actually has honorable intentions with his story. This movie is not what people would expect it to be when you combine the Tarantino and Manson names, she said. Deborah was also pleased to find that Sony were able to move the release date up a little to avoid coinciding with the 50th anniversary of the tragedy. So, looks like every issue has been resolved, right? Well, not exactly. Despite Polanski and Deborah's blessing, there's another real-life relative of a movie star who's mad at Tarantino. Any idea who I'm talking about? Shannon Lee, daughter of martial arts legend Bruce Lee. Yep, she got angry at Quentin because he didn't consult with her about her father's appearance as a character in the movie. Here's what Shannon told Deadline about the situation. With Tarantino's film, to have not been included in any kind of way, when I know that he reached out to other people but did not reach out to me, there's a level of annoyance, and there's part of me that says this is not worth my time and my energy. The role of Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is performed by Asian American actor Mike Moh, who based his performance as the legendary martial artist only using Tarantino's perceptions of Lee's persona. Shannon found the idea of using this heavily fictionalized and abstracted way of interacting with her father's persona distasteful, and saw the whole exercise as an attempt to capitalize on Lee's legacy and take advantage of it. Tarantino has still not offered any response.
It's none of your damn business what I think about that.
In the name of 100% accuracy and clarity, Shannon Lee hasn't actually watched the movie before making her statements, basing her criticism solely on the movie's trailer. So what do you guys think? Do Shannon Lee and Emmanuelle Seigner's criticisms hold any water? Should Tarantino have discussed the movie with either of them, or with Polanski before beginning the shooting process? Or should an artist always have the freedom to depict historical events the way they see fit? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're curious about Quentin Tarantino's ultimate project, check out our other video, where we discuss some cool theories about his 10th and final film. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay awesome!